Hello, Guardians. It is Ebontis here, and it is January 8th, and it's kind of a crazy week in Destiny. We've got Niobi Labs that has been cracked open, but has definitely not actually been deciphered, no activities yet, so people with very smart minds and previous Destiny code cracking experience are trying to figure that one out right now. Currently, it is still closed, so the codes are still working. People who developed those and are enjoying us scratching our heads, but for the time being, there are other activities to do. So we're going to go through the basic stuff. We're going to cover what a couple of vendors have, and Dreaming City even has Shattered Throne, so maybe later this week I'll try and do a solo flawless stream, maybe something over the weekend, so keep your eyes tuned on my Twitch or Twitter and see if I actually get cracking on that solo flawless. Seems a little daunting, but I do feel like it's doable, just trying to put the whole thing together. All of that aside, let's get to the director and see what we've got for the week. Alright, Guardians, so first things first, we have the Flashpoint, and it is on Mercury, which is not my favorite planet for it. But my advice for this is do your heroic adventures when it's up. Pretty good chunk of the Flashpoint percentage that you need, and you don't have to burn through it all in the same day either. Now, today is heavyweight modifier, so I do advise trying to do it today. Might be a little easier. It is void as well, so keep that in mind when you run in there. Public event doesn't seem to be up that often, so if you're waiting for it, just like twiddling your thumbs on the planet, go do other things, and then check occasionally if it's up, and then jump back in. But honestly, waiting for the public event, not really worth it. If you see it up and you're in the middle of in between like activities, go knock it out. But if you don't, just a couple adventures, couple lost sectors, you can do it without the public event. But if you make the public event heroic, which please make sure you do that, it will knock it out fairly quicker. For our Vanguard activities, we've got, heroic adventures, which I just said, stories, and strikes on the same modifiers. So Void Singe all week. Have fun with your Tractor Cannons and Kindled Orchids and Hammerheads and all that fun stuff. But we do actually have a heavyweight week. So if you're working on grinding out strikes, for example, for Loaded Question, heavyweight is going to be something you're going to want to consider. Because nice thing about that is you can blast stuff a lot easier and finish strikes a lot quicker. So if you're just looking to, get your so many strikes done once you've done all the rest of the stuff, this is a good way to knock it out. So heavyweight will be on Tuesday, Friday, and Monday. And then, of course, the rotation this week is going to go heavyweight, Grenadier, Brawler, rinse and repeat a couple more times. So heavyweight's going to be 3 out of the 7 days, so pretty good week to do those. For the Nightfalls, we're going to have a Garden World, which I have done a solo 100k Nightfall run previously, last week, so I will put a card up top so you guys can click that link right now. So you guys can go ahead and check that one out. It's a guide on just builds and also how to get 100k in that one. If you guys are getting closer up to the 630, 640, 650, you can actually set the handicap up to where you can get 100,000 points without having to put a debuff on, so it should be somewhat easier, especially if you're running by yourself. So hopefully that helps you guys out. The Garden World Strike exclusive is going to be the ship. I forget what it's called. You've got Tree of Probabilities, and that one's going to be the Strike exclusive DFA. That's the hand cannon. And then Savathun's Song, the Strike exclusive there, is going to be Duty Bound, and that one is the auto rifle. So I will work on solo guides for these two with 100k, see what modifiers we want to throw on there, maybe crazy points or just barely 100 with like the smallest modifier you need, anything like that we'll try and do. So I'll get those videos up a little bit later in the week, but you guys can look forward to those. I can tell you Garden World, if you go Arc Singe and Heavyweight, maybe about an 85, 90 point modifier, should be able to probably solo that one, maybe melt the boss with a Rally Barricade or a Well of Radiance. Should be able to just melt that boss pretty quick. If you've got Thunderlord, it will work very, very well. Alright, so for the Crucible, got your standard stuff, of course, your daily and weekly challenges, but your weekly playlist is going to be Showdown. All-out team warfare, so kind of a clash type situation. Revive a defeated teammate to steal back the point from your opponents. So the idea is clash, but with revives, and if you get that revive in, you're going to be stealing those points back. So a little more team shooting probably required here than even normal, since everybody still tends to run in a group. But if you can stick with a pair, a couple people, something like that, if somebody goes down, you still might be able to get the revive and get some of those points back. So keep that in mind when you're playing in there. Should be a decent way to mix it up this week, just something different. If you are looking to do Escalation Protocol this week, your drop is going to be only the shotgun. So if you are looking to grind that one specifically, go into Escalation Protocol, see if you can find a group and grind that thing out. Still a damn good shotgun because I've used it plenty of times myself every day, basically. It's still very good. It's a solar, pretty much beastly shotgun with, trench barrel and full auto, so it's really powerful. So if you don't have it yet for some reason, I really do actually advise trying to put some time in to get it. It's well worth it. And they've made the grinding on this a little bit easier because once you get up to level 6 and then you finish level 7, you can restart it. Like if you go back to little towers, pop it back up, you go right back to level 6. So you only do those last 2 over and over. So the grind does get a little better. It's not like you repeat the boss over and over, but 2 levels is definitely better than 7. So the grind is a bit easier. Of course, play some Gambit, have some fun in there. It is the week with the highest spawn chance for the meatball. So if you're looking to get your Ascendant Primeval, get started on your Malfeasance quest, anything like that, this is the time you want to play Gambit because the curse in the Dreaming City is at its strongest this week. Hence why the Shattered Throne is here. I think that covers everything. We'll get to Tangled Shore, Dreaming City a little bit later, but let's go check with a couple of vendors, starting with Eververse. All right, well, let's see what Tess has in the Prismatic Matrix first. We do have your Sanctum Plate Shell. It's going to be Banshee's Favorite, and then Vanguard and Crucible Scanner just for more faction tokens, which is never a bad thing, kind of a good all-around general use. Then we've got the Young Ahamkara Spine Ornament, the Mirror and Projection, these are the Warlock Boots for the Symmetrists set. Then we've got the Star-Crossed Helm. I really like the Titan set that they've got for Black Armory. The cosmetic set is pretty cool. I don't know if I'll get a whole set, but in time, it's possible. And then Sparrow, Ghost, Ship. Couple cool dances, though. The Floating Dance, kind of crazy, just bouncing back and forth. If you guys know what that one's from, let me know. Same with the Get Out. That's just leave. Just get the heck out of here. You're done. Get out. I like that one. I could see that used in some pretty cool videos. But yeah, the Floating Dance, if you know what that one's from, let me know in the comments. I'm always curious because you guys seem to pick those up faster than I do. For the bundles, we do have one. It's for 1,100 silver, of course. And this is going to be the Feathered Friend bundle. And this is going to have the Colonel. Little throwback to Mr. Cade 6 and his Colonel. So, nice little ornament for Ace of Spades. And then also the Only the Finest projection. It's the Black Armory Transmat effect. Down here, we've got the Duel, which makes me think of nothing else but Robin Hood Men in Tights. So, we're men in tights, tights, tights. If anybody's seen that movie, you'll understand what I just did. But, we've also got the can-do attitude. Just, good old, you got a little fist. Okay, we got a flex there. Good stuff. And then we've got a couple Sparrows, couple Ships, another Shader. The Neon Helix does have that Guiding Light, which is 10% experience for all things. So pretty much what that's going to do, once you get to max level and you start getting those leveled up, the cosmetic engrams from to getting levels, you just get them 10% faster. So it's a nice one if you're just at that point of grinding out some of the cosmetics. Can't hurt you. It's not too expensive. Looks kind of cool. We've got the Unwelcomed Visit, which is the ornament for the Distant Relation. Scout rifles, unfortunately, still don't mean too much to me. But the Prospector ornament, I do like this one. Just the ornate engraving on the metal, the wooden handles. Just a very cool look for the gun. Definitely one if you enjoy Prospector at all, which I happened to use it the other day. Still not a terrible gun, but I just really like that ornament. The detail on it's impressive. Here's the if you just want the Transmat and don't care about the Cade ornament, then here you go. And everything else is pretty standard. Just don't forget to get your Prismatic Facet Challenge out here on the corner. Let's go talk to Ada and see what she's got for her weapon frames this week, which I'm sure will change once all this crazy Niobi Lab stuff happens. But for now, this is where it stands. Alright guys, so we are here with Ada. Always a little bit of sass in her voice, but remember, daily bounties, you need 7 for one of your ballistics logs, so usually these are not that bad. This one, like Harvest Resource Destination Materials, just literally pick it up so you're out. Just have it with you, so as you're picking things up, you're knocking this one out. Some are just literally go do a GoFan and Forge. Takes you like 10 minutes and you're good to go. Some of this stuff isn't that bad. But for your weekly bounties, for your ballistics logs, which let you buy your powerful weapon frames, you get 2 ballistics logs, which only last for a week. So remember that. And then 2, you have to pick 2 out of the 3 weapons. Now, Niobi Labs could change things. I'm not sure what that's going to do. It may take away one of your options if we go through the quest line and there's a powerful weapon frame in there, because I feel like that happened to my Titan. Because I unlocked the Izanami Labs, which is the bow. And then when I unlocked the bow, and then I bought the other weapon frame that I was going to buy with my ballistics log, when I came back in with my Titan, I could only keep buying the pulse rifle. I couldn't get the other 2. So even though I had a ballistics log, I had nothing else to buy. So Niobi Labs may mess us up. We'll see. But remember, you get 2 ballistic logs, and if you don't unlock any other forges or you don't do any other quests, then you still have to pick 2 out of 3. So just keep in mind which one you're picking. You've got the auto rifle, which has some pretty cool perks. You've got the bow, which if you haven't done the Izanami quest chain yet, then you get at least one of these from that. And then we've got the hand cannon, which is pretty awesome. Actually, I've used it. It hits like a truck. Feels pretty good, actually. So the Kindled Orchid is actually pretty solid. But that's pretty much from her. Remember, if you do have any of the Black Armory schematics and mod components, every one you buy goes up in price. So right now it's one Black Armory schematic gets me one Black Armory mod with the 10 mod components. I did buy one. That's why it's up to 3 and 15. So kind of like the what are they called even now? Enhancement cores at Spider. Buy one a day. Don't buy any more than that unless you're just rolling in materials. But even then, probably just do one a day. You don't need mods that fast. Speaking of that, let's head over to Spider and see what his week looks like. Alright, a quick tag in at Spider. Weekly wanted bounty is going to be Silent Fang. This is going to be in the European Dead Zone, so usually just pops up in a Lost Vector. We'll knock that one out. I've got a previous video up, but if you guys want to see a new one, maybe relatively more recent, throw something down in the comments. I'll throw one out there for you guys this week. It usually is pretty quick. And remember, if you are working on just, knocking out bounties for Ikora, there's usually some pretty easy ones here. Defeat 35 Fallen, defeat 35 Cabal, defeat 35 Hive, pick up 5 resources. Like, these go fast, so if you need to knock out some bounties, do that. And remember, 1 escalation core a day will keep the prices reasonable, but also hopefully add to your stockpile. Finally, the Dreaming City, a few things to discuss there. Always a lot of fun when this week is going on. Alright, Guardians, so it is Crazy Curse Week in the Dreaming City. So Shattered Throne is active. If you guys need to know how to get in there, I've done a previous video. Just go look up, like, Step 1 or Part 1 of my Shattered Throne guide. So that one's definitely going to be up. The meatball is going to spawn more often in Gambit, as I was saying. And then, of course, we've also got some fun things to do with regards to bounties and missions and stuff like that. So let's go find Petra, who is over in Ray Sylvia. Be right there. So that is kind of one of those things to make note of. We go through this 3-week cycle, but every time they're somewhat more aware of what's going on. So I'm still waiting for when all of this comes to fruition, whether it's like, Shadow or Season of the Redacted, the latest one. At some point, this is all going to come to a head, so we'll see what happens. Also this week, I want to kind of jump in and see what Queen Marasov has to say in her Ascendant Realm as well. But that'll come later in case it's something new. But this week again, don't forget, you've got your Dark Monastery mission, daily bounties, Ascendant Challenge. You guys know that video is coming. Gateway Between Worlds, this one you're probably going to want to do just to visit the Queen. And also, if you're working on your Seeds of Light, you can get a seed in here. So in case you're newer to the game, working on your Seeds of Light for your other subclasses, definitely jump in, do your Gateway Between Worlds. This will guarantee you one of those. And then, of course, your daily bounties, pick those up as well. But that pretty much is going to wrap up the weekly reset video. Going to be spending some time in the Shattered Throne at some point this weekend, potentially, just because, for one, I love that place. It's one of the coolest things. If you haven't seen it yet, find a couple people, explore it. You can solo probably the first couple areas. When you get to the Ogre, it's hard to solo, but I have put a guide out for that as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like below. If you want to follow me on Twitch or Twitter, see when I go live, you can do that. But right here on YouTube, if you haven't subbed yet, we cracked 30,000 and are still climbing, so keep that stuff going. If you guys enjoy the content, hit that sub button. If you want notifications, hit the alert bell. And if you guys want to say hi, leave a comment, any suggestions at all, that's what the comments are for, and I try and read them all. So I will see you guys in the next video, probably Ascendant Challenge, and we're just going to see what happens with Niobi Labs this week. When I get an update, I'll let you guys know, maybe even on the community tab. Have a good one, a good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, wherever you guys are at around the world. Thank you for the continued support, and I'll see you soon.